Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
Thanks for asking me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. So, of course, I'm here to talk about Brain Tentacles, who's had a really great year with a debut album and an amazing North American run.
Yeah, it's been super great. Late in the year, the record came out, in October and in September, and we were able to go out with Gorguts and Intronaut, two bands that we love and actually are pretty good friends with as well too. So we had a wonderful time, and yeah, here we are.
So for those that are not familiar, how did this band come together?
In 2013, Dave Whitty, our drummer extraordinaire, approached me about doing a project together. We had been on tour together with different bands we both had, and I contributed to a record that he was involved in called the East-West Blast Test, the second one he had done. And we've always talked about doing something, and he's like, I've wanted to do this project, you and I was thinking about just saxophone and drums. Oddly enough, the Scion Car Company approached him about doing a food and drink blog while he was on tour, and he was like, I would love to do that, and actually, I have this idea. I wanted to start a project with Bruce Lamont, and I think that he and I together, I've been involved in the service industry, food and drink stuff in Chicago for a very long time. He thought that would be really neat if he and I did the blog together as we were on tour. So he's like, I think now's the time to start this project. What do you think? And I said, that's a great idea. I have some ideas with the saxophone that might work well with you and I playing together. So we had planned out doing some shows together for that food and blog drink tour. They were going to give us a little money. At the same time, Melt Banana, we're both mutually friends with. He actually was the drummer for a while. We're touring in the United States for the first time in a number of years with Melt Banana, sight unseen, and they knew both of us, various projects, and we did it. Basically, he came to Chicago for about a week, and we locked ourselves down in my practice space and wrote about a half hour worth of material, and that was the beginning of Brain Tentacles.
And with that, there's a lot of improvised moments that come with the band as well, right?
Especially at that time, we've kind of got it down to everything is pretty refined at this point. There's room for improvisation, of course, but generally we have song structure with some play and just kind of go with that. But most of it is actually plotted out, worked out, and we kind of regurgitate that live in a sense.
And so how does it translate now having bass along in the band as well?
On that tour that we did, every night we had a guest bass player come up and play a song, really basic riff that we would show them before the show, and then let them kind of go off from there. And we had a bunch of really great people. Mike from Tunes got him play this one night. We had the Grindfather from a Public Nosebleed. And then one night in Cleveland, we had Aaron Dawson from Keel Hall. And not only what he did seemed to kind of fill up some space that maybe we were looking for, we didn't know, but Aaron's a really good friend, a great writer, love his band Keel Hall, and it just seemed to be the perfect fit. And as we were driving the next day, I turned to Dave and I said, you know what, man, I think we should be a trio. And he's like, yeah, man, I think so too. And I said, I think Aaron Dawson's our guy. And he's like, yep, I couldn't agree with you more. So Aaron was in right then and there. And then we debuted with Aaron probably, it was earlier 2014. We did a festival called Dark Lord Day at Three Floyd's Brewing Company's Dark Lord Day Festival. And that's it. That's all she wrote.
And how much do you feel the band has changed since becoming a trio?
Oh, tons. Aaron writes a lot. He has a lot of great ideas. So, I mean, he really kind of pushed us. We had a number of songs that Dave and I wrote ourselves, and then he brought a ton to the table as well too. So we were able to easily, fill out a complete record and then some. Very active writer, and his ideas are great. So I think Aaron is like key to what we do at this point.
Oh, very cool. So with these awesome tours, like opening for Melt Banana and opening for Gorguts, how has the live reception been for you guys?
Well, it's been awesome, honestly. Like the Gorguts tour was a real eye-opener for all of us. We definitely, I think, had decided after about a week or so that this was the band that we needed to definitely put some put some time and effort behind. Not that we wouldn't have done that anyway, but watching the way crowds were reacting, it was very, very much the same at first. I think people in the metal community were a little maybe taken aback by seeing a sax, bass, and drums lineup, not knowing who we were. The record had just come out. Most people had not heard of us. And then by the third or fourth song, getting some really good receptions. One of the best has actually been documented too, which I'm so happy. Decibel Magazine did a write-up for a show we did in Baltimore, and because I'd never seen this before, I actually looked up during our third song, which is a song called Fruitcake, second song on the record, third song on the set, and at one there's massive pit going on while you look over to the side of the pit, and there's a bunch of girls hippie dancing, and I just cracked up. I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen, because I was like, wow, this is great. People really react to it, and people were just way into it. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, somebody from Decibel happened to be at the show, and they wrote this review up, and they gave us, were very sweet and awesome. But they had documented this thing. Oh my God, there's this pit that broke out, and these girls were, literally verbatim said hippie dancing and all this stuff. And I was like, hell yes. This is the greatest compliment human beings could ever give to us as a band. But yeah, every night was awesome. It was really great. And the bands too we play with, Gorguts and Intronaut, were right there in the crowd every night, being super supportive. And yeah, it was amazing. Even when we were up at the Mel Banana tour for the very first time, the very first show that Dave and I played, we played one song, and we was in Minneapolis, and we had never played live, and it was a packed room, and the room was silent, and we did one tune, and the place erupted. I think Dave just looked at me and goes, are we on to something? And then we just went into another song, and then that was it, But yeah, it's always been super positive, really, really enthusiastic, and how much, you can't ask for anything more than that. So it's been pretty great,
Oh, definitely. And that's got to be such a great, rewarding feeling for being relatively unknown and winning over fans live, especially for Gorguts and Intronaut fans.
Sure. That's a challenge that I think all three of us, really like to take on. I don't like to take on, as well as just having, I think we just need to prove ourselves to, each person one at a time, as opposed to, record sales and some videos or whatever else out there that, can kind of, get the word out. I'd rather have that experience, us and them, and let us prove ourselves right to your face, if you like us or you don't.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So is there any plans yet for 2017?
Yeah, we just got booked on a festival that I can't discuss yet, and we talked about some other shows with another band that I can't talk about just yet that wanted to take us out. So we're really, actually a couple bands that asked to take us out. So we have some plans in the works. In the meantime, just around those times, we all play a lot of bands. So especially Dave and I. So we're trying to make it so we can make some time for this band, particularly to get out and do some work, and also work on some new material. So, and that's the plan. Like I said, we got a couple of bands that have asked us to go out. Can't say anything just yet. Very soon, and beyond that, we'll start working on the material right away.
Oh, very cool. I unfortunately missed the last time that you were in Minneapolis, but the next time you come back, no matter the tour, I definitely want to experience all of this live.
Yeah. Okay. Please do, because we love Minneapolis. It's one of our favorite cities for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Been there a few times. We played Caboose this last time, and and played Triple Rock the time before that. So,
Yeah, it's definitely a great area for music, and I totally understand why you guys go over so well here, because it definitely fits the mood.
Yeah, right on, man. I'm a Midwestern boy. We're kind of all scattered. Dave's from Richmond, lives in Richmond, and Aaron lives in Cleveland, and I'm from Chicago. So I feel a kinship to the folks in Minneapolis. My grandma's from Minnesota too, so it's nice. Always had some love for the for the Minnesotians,
Oh, yes. Just like you alluded to just a little bit ago, Brain Tentacles is not the only thing that you've been working on this year. You've had some other great stuff happening with you as well.
I had a record out with a band called Bloodiest. Earlier in the year, we did a couple tours. That was super fun. Yeah, I have a solo record coming out in the spring of next year. We like a lot of looping, saxophone and guitar and voice and whatnot. I'm on a band called Yakuza that we're also working on some new material. Hopefully have a record out next year and do some stuff and, try to keep busy.
Oh, yeah. And my first experience with your playing is with Yakuza, and I was just instantly blown away by your playing and what you contribute to the band. And then I went on to hear all the other endeavors that you've been a part of and just became an instant fan from there.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
Very cool.
So, what's it like to go from something like Bloodiest to Brain Tentacles to Yakuza to the solo stuff where you're not necessarily doing the same thing in every band?
No, it's different. I mean, it's somewhat reactionary to who's in the room at the time or involved in the project. We kind of bounce off ideas, each other, and you always bring something of yourself to that project. But I think it definitely has to do with a collaborative effort with whomever is involved more than anything. So that's what I always look at. I try to be a team player in a sense, and work towards the common goal. Solo stuff obviously is just me working with or against me. In the studio I always have Sanford Parker, longtime friend, bandmate in Corrections House, engineer extraordinaire. I've recorded dozens of records with him. So for the solo stuff, he kind of knows what I'm looking to do. So he can be that person I can kind of bounce stuff off of, like, is this realistic, or what do you think about this? And so that's I guess there's always some kind of partnership involved in every project, to a certain degree. I have to go, the solo stuff I have to go and execute myself unless I, ask a friend or a musician to come out and help me out. But generally that's not the case. I usually just use some loop pedals and make it work.
So with that, is there any plans to do some live shows once the album comes out?
I'm actually going to do some live shows before the album comes out.
Nice.
Mike Nine Williams, my friend and brother in Corrections House, just had a liver transplant, and his medical bills are pretty insane, to say the least. So a bunch of New Orleans bands, some really great New Orleans bands, the I Hate God guys and Goat Horror, Super Joint, Crowbar are all getting together to do a big benefit weekend for him in February. And Gary from I Hate God asked me to come down and play solo. So I'm going to debut a bunch of my new solo stuff at that fest and do some shows on the way down there as well too. So yeah, I plan to book as many of those shows as possible. And solo is easy. I can play anywhere from someone's living room to a fully seated venue. Either way to me, it's all good. I prefer more intimate the better. So I will be definitely visiting someone's home or venue in Minneapolis, Minnesota the next year or so.
Oh, I'll definitely have to keep that in mind when you come up here. I mean, that would be fantastic to see.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. And, getting to debut so much new music for that festival for such a great cause, I mean, that's going to be a great feeling to be asked to be a part of that.
Yeah, I was honored beyond belief. I mean, we are bandmates and stuff. I think they wanted to have someone there that could represent the long arm of Corrections House. Scott and Mike are going to be on tour in Europe at the time, so happy to fly the flag, and be there from a friend.
Oh, very much so. So, looking back on 2016, have you had the chance to check out any new albums that you enjoyed this year?
Yeah, actually, the new Cobalt Records, awesome. I really enjoy the new Sub Rosa record as well too. That's super great.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Parker, who's a guitar player from Tortoise, put two jazz records out. I only heard one of them, but the one called The New Breed he put out earlier this year, I think is just a really phenomenal record with like tape loops and just his sensibilities. I really enjoyed that record as well too. So yeah, there's a couple for you right there.
Yeah, and 3 completely different bands out of that, too. I mean, it's great to have that much of an open-minded, creative mind to be able to enjoy all of those equally. Oh,
of course, man. It's music is music, It's just take it all in. It's all there for the taking, And I would feel like there should be some sort of any sort of limitations as far as your taste or even, what you do creatively. And so that's always been kind of my thing.
Oh, very much so. So with that said, I mean, with so many different projects that you've been a part of in so many different styles, is there anything that you haven't done yet that you want to explore in the future?
I'm open to whatever, but I'm always thinking about different things. I bought a hollow body guitar earlier this year, so I've been like really obsessed with like Link Ray and these older like kind of rock and roll guitar players. I really love that sound and something about it, but in kind of a warped and just kind of my own way as opposed to that. But I really dig that kind of stuff, and even the other night I was just like jamming in my house, and I was like playing some really weird, almost like rockabilly kind of tune, but I turned the beat around a little bit and made it kind of off and weird, and I just love that sound. So lately I've been kind of thinking about that. I also started playing. I have a bass clarinet that I kind of pulled off the shelf after about 8 years, and I've been kind of kicking on that thing as well too. So it's just, I was very surprised and happy with the results of just like kind of utilizing that thing. I love the sound, particularly the lower end of the horn. Just it really resonates, and it resonates with me personally. So it just has a thing, and I've always been a fan of that. My friend Jason Stein, I just got to see him. He's Amy Schumer's brother, and he's been on tour with her in arenas. She has him opening up. He plays a sick bass clarinetist, and with the band, and right, the bass player as well too, Jason Robke. So 3 Degrees of Separation. The guy that runs sound for them and works for the sound company is actually a sound guy that works with me in my Led Zeppelin cover band. So I went and got to see the show, and I went to see Amy's hilarious, don't get me wrong, but like I went to see Jason. I know Jason forever, and his bass clarinet playing is so fucking killer, so it was really great to see him, and you get to see him in an arena that I've been going to see arena shows at since I was like 15 years old. I've seen Def Leppard there back in the 80s, and now I'm seeing my jazz friend do a set, which is just it's out of control. So
yeah, that is so cool to be able to have friends like that, being able to do arenas like that, and just having that, like you said, that degrees of separation, just like bringing it back to you, and yeah, it's really cool to see.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and I also wanted to bring this up before we're done. I'm glad you mentioned it about your Led Zeppelin tribute band. Is there anything in the works for like more shows next year?
Oh, tons. We're actually we'll be in Minneapolis end of January.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter of the what I do. That's where I can bring home the bacon, so I can do these other projects. But that's a weekend gig that I do pretty much every weekend throughout the winter time. So we starts up in January, and we'll take a break sometime in April, and I'll fit other shows in between. But yeah, we're playing Caboose, I think, at the end. Saturday night, 25th, January 25th, something like that. We're definitely we'll leave it back up there.
Oh, yeah, that looks.
I'm
right.
sorry, 29th, 30th. Something like that.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at that last weekend. I think it's the 28th is the Saturday.
Yep, that's the Saturday, right? That's what we're doing.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to, weather permitting, I would love to be able to make it to that show. I mean, I definitely want to, as much as I love the stuff that you do with your original music, I really want to hear your take on Led Zeppelin songs.
Cool. Yeah, come on out.
Yeah, definitely. So is that still fun for you to play all those songs live? I mean, considering you do it so often, has it become a chore for you at all, or is it still fun?
Oh, it's totally fun. I mean, we usually pick sets and songs that we enjoy. I mean, we play a couple of the, I guess, expected songs that people want to hear, but in general, we pick songs that we enjoy. We're big fans of songs off Physical Graffiti and Presence, which I guess would be like kind of the deeper cut stuff, and we'll just throw it out there, and maybe everyone in the crowd doesn't go nuts, but there's someone out there who's like, oh my god, I can't believe they're playing this, like stoked. So, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine that there's some people who are out there who are just familiar with Led Zeppelin, and they say something to you after the show about how they want to hear you do original content, and then you just have so much out there that they can experience.
It's all out there for the taking.
Oh, definitely. Well, awesome. Well, thank you once again for taking all this time to talk to me about Brain Tentacles and everything else that you've got going on for now and in the future. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you the next time you come in Minneapolis, no matter which band it is, because I definitely want to experience everything that you have to show live. And before we're done, is there anything else you'd like to mention I haven't brought up yet?
I think I got it all in there, to be honest with you. So I started doing a project with a guitar player from Chicago named Che Arthur. It's real minimal, just Bruce Lamont and Che Arthur. It's super minimal saxophone and guitar, almost drony. It's really fun. He's a really dear friend of mine. Played in the band, Adam Bomb Pocket Knife. He's in a band called Pig Avalanche out of Chicago. Really great front of house engineer for a lot of bigger bands. And we just kind of did it for fun, and we ended up recording a record in like one sitting. Because we were just playing. So it's like that's probably the latest thing. And I have a few irons in the fire with some friends around the country. I'm gonna travel a little bit and go and work on some stuff, but nothing to mention just yet. But I appreciate you asking.